I've never perceived myself as being Eddie McGuire's son. I've never felt like I've been in a shadow, if you will. If I see a player out, you know, doing whatever they're doing with whoever they're with, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's not my shtick.
Hey, let's go through some big stories this year.
My view is, and I heard Caro say this actually on radio the other day, that I think the biggest story of this year.
Xander, what's happening, man?
Hey, not much. It's a pretty hectic time of year,
Busy
isn't it?
time. Like, footy season's done, but almost my favourite time of the year is like the next month.
Oh, it's the real season starts
It
now,
really
doesn't
is.
it? Yeah,
it's a different game, like a total different game.
Yeah, no, it's silly season. It's well underway. I heard BT saying something the other day about how the entire year crescendos to the grand final, and he almost feels flat once it's done because all 17 teams, the other 17 teams have just evaporated. They don't matter anymore. And it's just the premiers and the season's done. I feel like that's how we're all going to feel at the end of trade period.
Literally.
Like,
oh, mate, it's so exciting. Like, even I'm buzzing to chat to you today, not only about trade and your journey and everything else in between, but it is an exciting time of year. Just like even it was funny. I felt for Josh Jenkins the other day. I'm not sure if you saw on Instagram. Someone had sort of misquoted what he said on a trade, and it made him look like the Jared Waitley delete the tweet type situation nearly because.
Oh, and he went hard like.
Well, he didn't go hard. He didn't bite because he understood the internet. But it was like the Petrarca trade with. Adelaide, and it had quoted him saying, pick 14, Josh Rochelle and Luke Pedlar for Christian Petrarca. And you just had like every person just fucking going, like it just bites that hard at these things.
Yeah. It's like where Adam Kearney comes up with the mega trade every day and you just see everyone in the comments like, he's not even up for trade, he's staying. Like, what do you... I love it when eventually, and who knows, when's this coming out? When are we dropping this?
We'll drop Monday.
Well, by the time we get to Monday, there's every chance that Trade Radio has dropped their annual 18-team mega trade, which is just the greatest rage bait that exists in football media.
It's so good.
What a time of year.
Mate, congrats on what you've achieved. Like, it's so interesting, yourself. Like, obviously, there's a legacy piece of you and your dad. You're 22.
Yeah.
It's very amazing. Obviously, is that even a word, Mon? I don't even know. But it's quite impressive to done what to be able to, I suppose, achieve what you have at this age and be on TV. And like, mate, at 22 years of age, I couldn't even sit in front of a fucking camera, let alone anything else.
You were doing some Carlton socials, I reckon, at pretty early days.
I don't think 22, maybe 23. So you kicked me on that. But yeah, it's a little bit different to sit in a YouTube channel and sort of, presenting and breaking stories, I suppose, on the news.
Yeah, I mean, I've sort of, in a way, it's, I guess like you jumping into an AFL environment when you're 18, you've been playing footy and around footy environments your whole life. Like I grew up on TV sets and I was an actor as a kid, so I was working like 4 days a week as an actor on Neighbours when I was like 12, 13 and 15.
Yeah.
And then, obviously my family's been in footy media for. My uncle was a journo before my old man in sport and that sort of thing. He won 2 Walkley Awards, and then Dad's had the career that he's had. So, yeah, I started when I was 17. So because I finished school, I'm born mid-December.
Yep.
And I was doing some PA work on the AFLW, and then that sort of transitioned into a bit of PA work on some shows in the men's season, and then you walk downstairs in the newsroom and you get a few months unpaid for a few days a week, and then it all kind of snowballs if you can get a few nuggets up. But no, I've been really lucky that I've been surrounded by great mentors and great people, and had an upbringing that has been so firmly within the environment that I guess a lot of things that might take time to become accustomed to, like live crosses and plenty of feedback. And those kind of things were not necessarily water off a duck's back, but close to it. And maybe it allowed me to get on with it a little bit earlier.
I'm not sure if you would get this question, and I'm supposing you do, or at least, being in your situation as well with, a father-son pick. And again, this is very I suppose, circumstantial, obviously, of the situation that we both have found ourselves in. But I suppose it's like a boring question, but I think that I'd really like to understand your opinion on this as well. Is like, how have you over the last couple of years separated yourself from that of like being proud of what your dad's achieved, and I'm asking this, but also talking to myself about it because it's something I've always sort of struggled with and never seen a problem with. But in the reality is, like, you've only ever had the one situation, so you don't know what it's like in another way as well. So in a roundabout way, like, how have you found that transition of being, having your father do what he's done, but then forging your own path and wanting to do your own thing too?
Yeah. I find that a lot of the time it's more of a perception thing than it is a reality thing.
Yeah, it's a great point.
So a lot of people will, come up to me and go, gee, you look like your old man.
Can I just say, I fucking hate asking that question because that is the exact answer that I would give as well. Like, you don't know what it's like any other way.
Yeah, and to be honest, like, what my old man does now and his accomplishments through his career don't impact the calls I'm going to make today and the story I'm going to do tonight, and so on and so forth. I'm more of I'm really proud of his involvement in the game, in media. The Footy Show was a pioneer of sporting entertainment in Australia, and that's just scratching the surface of what sort of he's done. I really don't view it as a thing. Like, when people will pot you for it, that's can grate a little bit, but I've never perceived myself as being Eddie McGuire's son. I've looked at my upbringing and family situation as something that's propelled me forward in a way because of the support and the love and the caring environment that I grew up in. But I've never felt like I've been in a shadow, if you will. Like, there will always be connections between me and my old man. There'll be, while you're playing footy, connections between you and your old man. I mean, Gary Ablett Jr., half the time people always talk about him and senior. Not that I'm calling myself Gary Ablett Jr.
Well, and not that you're referring to me as Gary Ablett Jr., I'm assuming. No. You can.
Yeah, but that's just part and parcel. Like, it's a connection. It's a connection thing. It just really doesn't. I can see why it's something that interests other people.
Yeah.
But as far as I'm concerned, I'm more of I've got people whose feedback I seek out and respect and that I know actually matters for my performance and career and where that's all heading. And I listen to them. So as long as, Chris Jones and Gary O'Keefe and Chris Salter at Channel 7 are going well and are happy with the work I'm doing, and as long as people, don't turn off the TV when I pop on, it's fine by me. And if, to be honest, if people associate with me with my old man, then I think it's a legacy of excellence. So it's a good place to start.
Yeah, look, it's a great answer. I think there's probably another piece to this too around the lazy comment, as you would have just referred to, around like people thinking opportunities just come to those with this stuff. And I think like we'd be lying, and I speak on maybe behalf of both of us here, that there is having a family member or a connection does immensely help. Like, I always think to myself, would I be where I am now if my dad didn't play footy? Like, I'd like to think I would, but there's no doubt it's helped. It's definitely helped open some doors, but it hasn't it can open a door, but it can't keep you in the door. And as you said before, like, maybe you can start some things early, but you've still got to do the work and actually continue to make calls, break stories, report, get on camera, do all those things to continue that legacy. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, look, my passion for media is and sport and everything is something that I've just grown up and love doing. I mean, a lot of my mates study law, and their parents are lawyers, and a couple of my mates are Sparkies, and their parents are Sparkies. A few of my mates are studying medicine. They've had parents and grandparents that have been doctors and surgeons and that kind of thing. So
yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, absolutely. Look, I'd say a huge portion of the people in media have a connection somewhere that gets them started in some respect. It doesn't mean they haven't worked hard. It doesn't mean that the connection's necessarily overt. But that's how it is. So look, I hope to be judged on my performance, and those that judge me on my performance are the people that I listen to and respect.
No, good on you, mate. And you've definitely bloody done that. I've been so impressed. Not that you're I'm one of those people that you're trying to, but I've loved what you've done this year. And I think even from that point of view that we've spoken about today, the admiration, I suppose, of similar somewhat situations, and I suppose anyone can relate to this in a field where they've got a public knowledge of that. I've been like, fuck, this is great. Absolutely love it. You're doing a great job. So very cool to see, especially at this phase of your life. Can't wait to see sort of what's going to be next for you, which we'll get into. Hey, so acting though, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's so cool. I think if I could go back, if I had the, I suppose, confidence in myself and the attitude I'd sort of take to any situation now of not really caring what anyone else thinks, I would have loved to have been an actor.
Yeah, it's great. It's awesome.
But as a kid, like the thought of me going to a drama class, I was like, there's no way I could have done that. Not because of what the perception, but just like the confidence of actually doing it. It's you've got to lower your ego a lot.
Yeah.
I feel.
It's interesting you say that. I reckon that I would have been more, was more willing to do it then than maybe now. Maybe that's a product of us growing up in different generations, I guess, as well. Not to
you have. So
so
I am 10 years older than you, though.
Yeah, and it's a social media age. It's sort of like I had Instagram when I was 10 or something like that. So
you were TikToking out of the womb.
Yeah, I'm a no TikTok. I can't cop the talk.
Yeah.
It's not
were you
my,
a Musical.ly kid? I could see you sort of.
No, I wasn't a Musical.ly kid either. I think when I was in my early teens and that stage, and I loved doing that, and then it sort of just transitioned more into a journalism and entertainment passion. But I did school plays and school musicals. I used to sing. Yeah. Voice of an angel, Dyl. Let me tell you. No, not anymore. Puberty gone.
Yeah. Well, it gets us all at some point.
It does. Yeah. So I did musicals at school, and someone in the crowd came up after a musical and said, "We're casting more or less. This is in a nutshell. We're casting for a movie. Come in and do a audition."
Yeah.
Okay, sure. And I was 12. And so I went in and I did the audition. And this sort of played out over 9 months, and it was more of just a dipping the toe in the water thing. It wasn't like an actual thing. Anyway, I got the role for the movie. I was like, this is pretty cool.
What did you have to do in the audition? Like,
you'd get like
script.
You get scripts, but not scripts for the movie a lot of the time because it's supposed to be secret. But I think they try and give you and it changes because a lot of in LA, like you hear, people like for Friends auditions, they read characters on the scripts from Friends and stuff like that. For this, I very much just got a random script. I assume it was a character that was aligned to or a similar performance that they wanted to replicate in the other character. Anyway, I got this gig. I actually remember off the back of it, I was playing a flashback character in a movie, and the guy who I was playing the flashback character of, the actor had brown eyes. Right. So I had to go and get like brown contact lenses fitted to my eyes, which was the most cooked experience. I could someone trying to prod in your eye. I just could not do it. Sat in the chair for 2 hours. That's a sidebar though. Anyway, about 3 months later after this movie thing, which eventually fell through, by the way.
So you filmed it, but the movie didn't come out?
No, I got to the cusp of filming, and then they went over budget, and like the only scene that they could cut to make the movie make sense was the flashback scene. So see you later. I got a call and...
What was the movie?
Couldn't even tell you.
So, okay.
Yeah, I should know that actually. Yeah. Anyway, I didn't get it, so bugger 'em. I got a call from neighbours and they said, look, we've been trying to cast for this role for like 6 months and we haven't really found anyone, and we reached out to some other auditions for other things, and we've come across your tape and, would you be interested in jumping on? And whatever, sure. And I didn't really understand the scale of it at the time. And then mum and dad were very, like we lived in a public space, but very much trying to keep my brother and I out of it. Like you wouldn't see a photo of us that was, wasn't just like us at the footy or an interview, or there was no family series, there's no welcome into the house. Like that was never really our shtick. So I get up for school 8:00 in the morning, about to leave the house, and I'm on the front page. Like I'm at the top of the front page, and the whole third page is like an entire spread with me on it. And I was like, wow, this is genuinely it's a real thing. Yeah, so and it was great. You know, at the time, Neighbours was still on 10 or 11, rating fairly well. Massive overseas audience. And years later, I went to play cricket in the UK I was at Harrow, which is like one of the top private schools in England, and we went in for lunch. And I sat next to a guy who recognised me from my time on Neighbours, which was crazy. But yeah, I went to school probably on average. I probably went to school 2 days a week, one or 2 days a week, for about 6 or 7 months through year 7 and 8. And then in year 10, I went back for 3 months as like it was my character. Went back overseas and to live with his dad who lived in Fiji, and then I came back for a few months in year 10. And no, it was a great experience and learnt a lot about professionalism and working environments, pressure, bit of public scrutiny, you know, people bagging you on social media or people at school having a go at you for just having a crack at something. And
I think as well for acting, the thing that maybe was the biggest turn off for me, but you know, in short now, what I really respect about acting is I think in life you can really you can shield your sort of like emotion on things, but whereas it's probably like one of the most vulnerable places you can be when you're trying to do something and people are like, oh no, that's sort of shit. Try it like this. And it's to be able to take feedback is a skill that you learn over time. Like not many young men I know are good at taking feedback. Like I've said this a lot. If someone gave me feedback when I was 18 or 16, 14, it was like they were attacking my bloodline. You know, like I'd want to kill them. But now it's something that I love. Like I crave it. I need to just continually, I love just getting feedback from people surrounding yourself. You don't take everything on board, but trying to get better is what the game is really for me. And I think acting is something where you have to really be like, drop the ego. I go and watch like once a year, Juz and I go out for dinner in the city. We go out for dinner more than that, but in the city we go out for dinner. And we go and watch this one place we stumbled upon once, and it's where they do the improv. Yeah. And it's amateurs improv, like people just getting up and having a go. And I sit there in the audience and I'm like, I respect these people more than AFL players on the MCG. Yeah. Like to get up there and just, for no money, just give it a crack. It is hard to watch because you're like, fuck, this is crazy. Like, you're like, Jesus, like this person's just bombed on stage. Yeah. But one day I want to try and be able to do it.
Yeah, even like stand-up and those things.
The improv stand-up is, it's up there with one of the hardest I reckon you can do.
We used to, you know the Clyde in Carlton? It's near
Yeah.
I used to go when I was at Melbourne Uni, because I worked full time at 9 through uni, and so on Tuesday nights I'd have Tuesdays and Wednesdays off a lot of the time. So Tuesday nights I'd basically just try and convince everyone to come to the pub with me for whatever reason it was. And Palmer night was on the Tuesday at the Clyde. Like you get this Palmer that's bloody the size of a cow, and Tuesday night was also stand up comedy night upstairs, and geez, it was tough sometimes.
It's so hard.
It's so hard.
But you got to, like, I just respect, I'm like, this is amazing. Like, you cannot, men in the arena. Yeah. Respect.
And respect the way that, like, the good ones adapt.
Yeah.
Like, they'll come out with their pre-prepared material. They don't know who they're going to get. And they walk in and it's like 20, 19-year-olds. And they're probably going, oh, geez.
But the good thing on it, and not to continue on this, I know people are gauging the conversation and why we're having this, is the people that you see early too and they don't adapt and they fuck, like knowing that they can't, like in a year's time, how much better you get by just continually being shit at something. Yeah. And it's just a good reminder, because I feel like once we become older, and I speak about this, not you, because as you said, there is an age gap. Generational gap. You do tend to not put yourself out of your comfort zone anymore. Yeah. And like you go, okay, cool, I'm going to get better at TV and news. But then you're like, I've done that. You don't do it again. So that's my biggest thing now. I'm just like, you just got to continue to do shit that sort of scares you.
So what's on your agenda? What's your next thing?
I do need to work that out. Maybe it's improv. But there was a great quote. What's the the actor's name that played Elvis? Do you remember?
Austin Butler.
Austin Butler.
Yeah.
He was doing this interview on a subway the other day, and I love my quotes and analogies. And he said something about dancing. Go out and embarrass yourself, because whatever you want is on the other side of embarrassment. And it's just like, I don't think people do that enough. I don't probably either. But everything's cringe until it's cool.
Yeah.
Everything's
100%.
cringe until it's cool, man. Like when you would have started on TV, a lot of people, you know, I'm sure you're aware, but a lot of people would have been like, well, look at this fucking loser, Eddie's son doing this. And then you sort of solidify yourself and have the confidence and like, oh, that's fucking cool.
Yeah. And I think, well, also, and to a little bit what we were saying at the start, like it's easy to brush off those things in part.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's easy to brush off the you know, oh, look at this loser like having a crack.
Yeah.
And I catch up with a lot of people now who are around a similar age to me who are like, how did you get through that initial phase of, you know, thinking that everyone was going to sort of have a laugh at you for having a crack? But equally, like, you know, with the Eddie Sun side of things that we were talking about at the start, it's a very real thing that, like, if people don't like you for it, it's like you need people to turn on and watch at the end of the day. And people are entitled to their own opinions and views on you. But yeah, it's you just got to focus on your own stuff and just try and make it work yourself, I guess.
How do you go with this is a question I have. Hopefully, I can articulate it. Around like news breaking, right? And there's like this. It's a really interesting role because I feel like a lot of newsbreakers aren't loved because it's what the fans want, but then they don't want it as well. So like everyone craves news and they crave like what's happening and they want to be told. But then when you tell them, they're like, "Fuck you! Why are you talking about my players?"
Yeah, don't shoot the messenger, fellas.
I feel like, and I'm not just saying this because you're here, but I feel like yourself and Mitch Cleary are probably two of the best in the terms of like breaking news, but I still think have quite a good respect level from the players and the people that are in the community. From my perspective, anyway, like I still, like you could tell me something that I don't want to hear, but I still go, it's not like there's not a smugness to it or something like that. Yeah, there's no malice to it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think for me, a lot of my great mates are players, so I'm pretty firm, and I think a lot of people are on. There are areas of football and footballers' lives which are of public interest. Like the public would be interested in knowing about it, but it's not a football story. And I think that's what Mitch in particular does really well. I can toe the line between, you know, knowing what is in the scope to report and what isn't. I mean, I've been on the other side of this as well, where like journalists have tried to bounce me when I'm leaving my house when I'm 14. So I think that, and you know, you can't get it right every time, but I think I try to come at it from an understanding of, in a way, what that could feel like. Yeah. For them.
So what's your like guiding sort of principle or philosophy with reporting? If it's how do you reason with what's worth going with and stuff that you're like, oh, I'm going to leave that, even though I know I could gain interest from it?
So like, for instance, I'm 22. So like I'm going out and of a weekend and with a lot of these guys.
Smoking darts and drinking.
And seeing a lot of these guys out, right? I don't smoke darts. But if I see a player out, you know, doing whatever they're doing with whoever they're with, I don't care. It's not my shtick. You know, there's a lot of the time I'll be with people that they're with. I don't care. A player doing X, Y, or Z in their spare time, you're a private citizen at the end of the day. I don't care. If what you do in your time means that you get suspended, you do something that gets you suspended for a couple of weeks, or you know, it means that you have to leave the club or whatever. And there's still sensitivities around reporting the whys of these situations as well. But as soon as it becomes something that impacts the football club, and therefore, you know, full fee-paying members and fans and people who are investing their lives in those footy clubs and stuff like that, like it's a footy story. A player,
it's a very case by case situation.
And not to bring up low points and difficult points in different people's careers and that sort of thing. But Jack Ginnivan, for instance. In my view, I'm not going to I'm not going to be at the pub and if players are doing things, I'm not going to go and say they're doing this, right? But when he was at the Torquay Hotel and he was then suspended for 2 weeks off the back of it.
Well, you got to report on it.
That's a story.
I've always found as well, even with you know, this game you're in, there's an acceptance to know that almost from our behalf too. I remember when there was a few things that happened with the business and left, right, and, you know, things are going to occur and pop up. And it was almost like, you know, Mitch and Sam work with us on tradies.
Yep.
But I was like, I can't beat it like them, don't do this, because then someone else is going to get it. So it's almost like just understanding that it's nearly a part of the nature you're in. Like, it's not a personal thing.
No.
But as long as it's treated with respect around the situation, like to speak of the situation I'm talking about, I remember when, and Drapes wouldn't mind talking about this because it's past now and he's going to Brisbane.
Yep.
But when he was on the pod, he was doing 200 plus and he spoke about Bevo or something like that.
Yeah.
And I felt bad, not because I was involved. I didn't know what had happened. And that episode was like 3 weeks earlier. And it had been brought up and became this big thing. And I was like, fucking hell, how did we miss this? Like, traditionally I try and not make news, you know, like not try and like look after the people that are in the shows. But then when it happened, it's like, well, Mitch and Sam have to report on this. So like, how do we maneuver that and get it, I suppose, the narrative that we want from it versus the other part. And sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Yeah. And yeah, like you said as well, if I know, someone else knows.
Yeah.
Information's pretty liquid. And footy's footy at the end of the day. Like, I know it is life or death when you're in it, but it's funny how the way you'll sit around with Brett and Mick Barlow and stuff and have a laugh about these things 5 years later. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It can feel big at the time, but
mate, I've found that
entertainment business
a lot in my life this year. It's like you're the main character of your own story, and they do, you know, people say a week's a long time in footy, but it's actually a short time in footy too. It works both ways. Like, it can be quick, it can be bad. Like, I remember I was chatting to Zach Merritt recently. I saw him.
Here we go.
Who went through a pretty big period and nothing.
Post Hawks.
No, this was like the week of like it all blowing up. I was like, mate, how you going? And he was like, oh, you know, it's been a big week. I was like, mate, honestly, it will blow over.
Yeah.
Like, it will blow over. And it sort of already has, like, to an extent. There's still obviously, until a decision's made whether he's staying or leaving, you just can't,
out of it,
you
though,
can't keep the anger for that long. Like,
No.
it's,
Wow.
or you think you can.
Well, we'll see when he runs out in brown and gold against the Bombers in round one.
Yeah, but more
No,
so,
I agree with
more
you.
so
I agree
just
with you.
it's only topical for so long until something else pops up.
Yep.
Well, that's how I tell myself to feel better anyway. What about, I really want to talk about your stuff when you went away, but before we do,
Yep.
just around like reporting and like day to day, what's your week sort of look like at the moment? And how do you, like, deadlines, what do you have to get each day? How long are you working on stories for? And then I think something that's really interesting that's happened with, I suppose, sports journalism over the last few years. I don't know this because I'm not a journalist, but I feel like there was print, TV, radio, newsbreak, like all these different things. Whereas now you can just sort of specialize in a couple, like you don't have to do all of them. Like, or probably the question I'm trying to ask is, what are your pillars and where do you want to show up? Like, is it TV and writing articles? Is it like, you know, being a special sort of correspondent for like news breaking? Like, where are the parts that you're keen on sort of exploring? Yeah.
So for day to day, like I'm 7 News.
Yeah.
So whatever I'd have to do to service
Sport.
7 News Sport.
Yeah.
Occasionally, if I've got a story that's big enough or general enough, it'll go into the first break of the news. But my job day to day is to service the 7 News bulletin however it needs to be serviced. So what in terms of the 9 to 7 or whatever it is, I'll start average day, start at a footy club at 9 o'clock.
And how do you pick that? Sorry, just to break it down. Like, is it just on topic, like whatever's happening at the moment?
There's 4 clubs that are training at 9 o'clock. What's the most important thing that we need to see?
Yeah.
Is Jordan to go out there because, you know, he's had a bung hammy. You know, he's supposed to be back this week. What if he doesn't train? It's Anzac Day. I don't know.
Yeah.
So you pick your battles based on that. Go down, shoot training, see who's there, chat to whoever you want to chat to. Try and just find anything that might be out of the ordinary and shoot it. Then go to maybe another training around 11 o'clock. There'll be presses on for, you know, coach presses through the day. Hit those things. Go into the office and you're chasing whatever you're chasing. You know, whatever you might have heard on the grapevine or things that you think might be coming to fruition at the time, and you're making calls on that. But then I'll then prepare for a live cross at 4 p.m. around 4 p.m. news, and then usually I'll have a package and maybe a live element in the 6 p.m. news. So my job isn't entirely about like news breaking, because we're the 6 p.m. news, and our job's to inform everything that happens in a day.
Yeah.
So if you switch on 7 News tonight, you'll see our reporters, well, not today because we're out of season, but in the middle of a season, it's clipping up the most noteworthy things that coaches say during a day, the washout of the day, everything that's happened. And then on top of that, our reporters and Mitch in particular, we're trying to break things and bring stuff to the table ourselves. But a lot of it is being all over everything that's happening during a day on the ground and at trainings and those kind of things. So I'll do that 5 days a week. During the year, I'll work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And then Wednesday morning, I'll try and go to the main training of a team that I have on a Friday night, because I do the Friday night broadcast for news stuff. So the Friday night, I'll do the 9 to 7 for news, and then I'll do broadcast after. On a Saturday, we'll do the day for news, and then Round So Far on the Saturday night with Kate McCarthy.
Yes.
Which I've done. I did, I think, in the end, 19 out of the 28 shows, and it was a rotating thing with me, Riley Beveridge, and Josh Gablish, who are both great journos as well.
And K-Mac, she's doing some good stuff.
And K-Mac. So, yeah, that's the rundown of the week, though.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
That's pretty hectic.
Yeah.
You love it?
Love it. It's a great job. If you're not running those kind of hours in footy, you're running them doing something else.
Exactly.
Like, when do you ever turn off?
Oh God, Mum would say I don't work, but I feel like I'm working.
But we were texting last night at like 9 o'clock.
We were
talking about stuff, and then at 6:30 this morning. So it's not.
No, you're always on.
You're always on.
Yeah, you're always on. The how have you found the relationship side of thing with clubs and players and alike? Like, you're going to the club, you're reporting on stuff. Often clubs still, for some reason, are so secretive of lots of things.
Yep.
How have you felt? Like, have you had any learnings in how to handle those situations better, or things that have probably spiraled over into not fisticuffs, but like exchanging of words? You have blues. Yeah, for sure. But a lot of the time it comes from a place of mutual understanding, and it washes over pretty quickly. I haven't had a irretrievable falling out or anything like that. I think that now more than ever, and you said that before about Mitch and other journos and perhaps players and the general public having an affinity with the way that we might go about it. I think a large part of that is that the public and footballers and the industry is a lot more understanding of the way that the news cycle works and what it demands, and the role of the journalist, and probably more interested in it as well. Like 10 years ago, would there have been an appetite for a show like Tradies? No. Maybe not. Well, there may have been, but you wouldn't have been able to get anyone to listen to it at firstly. But
But now it's people love that, and they know that the journos are trying to do that, and that's part of their game. That is something that I struggled with at the start, though, and probably because I came from growing up in club change rooms and on the inside of a footy club, and trying to mitigate any media dangers, or watching that happen. Not that I was playing an active role in it. I would maybe have a tip for something, or know that something was happening, and I'd think, but he's not going to tell me about that. Who's going to tell me about that? How do I even? And I'd feel bad. I'd feel bad calling managers and football clubs and contacts in there and contacting players, because I was thinking, am I just overstepping here? I don't want to be that guy. And then you sort of have this realization where you go, it's literally my job. Yeah. So, and they know that, and I know that. And if you do it in a way that's respectful, no one actually cares. Like, did you ever have journos reach out to you at some stage about something or other? Or, because I think people get it that you go, look, mate, I've got to. Like, I sent a text off last night to a guy on something, and I just said, look, mate, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask.
Yeah, of course.
This.
Yeah.
And they got it. They completely understood it. Some people won't. Like you said, unfortunately, it's an industry where you can't be loved by everyone.
Makes you anxious thinking about it. I don't think like it's hard. Like I can't hold on to things. So like like when you say you're working on a story or you're hearing things in the background or like that for me, like that's where the angst gets being like, oh, I want to drop this now, or how do I hold on to it? Who else knows about this? Like, is that hard to
so hard now because
there's so many
because of Twitter.
Yeah, okay.
So maybe in years gone by, you could hold a story until the 6 p.m. news, but now it's a matter of seconds. Like if I were to go with something at 3:23 today, or what if I had a story that I had ready to drop before we recorded this podcast, I could turn on my phone and it's been dropped, and all of a sudden, bang, I've missed it. Every man and their dog's reposted on their social media channels. It's gone. Like,
how do you measure that then? Like with other journalists, right? There's obviously a competitiveness to getting the story first, and like you've got to do what's best for your employer, being Seven, and you want to be seen as the best team, getting the news and all those sort of things. How like in meetings and measurements of success for yourself and Mitch at Seven, how does that work? Like, are you measuring against like the biggest stories? Because obviously there's like the jokes with Tom versus Mitch, or I always find it funny when Mitch and Ryan Daniels from WA and he reports on something in Perth,
East
and then
West.
they go back, like all that sort of stuff. Does that actually, is it measurable, or is it a perception thing? I suppose.
I think it's probably a perception thing, a reputation thing. That, if you drop stories that are consistently right and of a certain scale.
I love when
well.
journos correct each other.
Yeah, the passive aggressive retweet. Yeah, it's good.
Have you experienced that with anyone, or anyone like vice versa?
I've never done it. There's one where I really, so I did the Shea Bolton and Freo story first last year.
Okay, so you broke that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone in the West basically called me a liar for 3 months. I remember listening to there were quotes thrown around on a radio show about it. It's the first that Freo's ever heard of it. Someone made a gag that I'd talk to the water boy or something like that. I didn't actually listen to it myself.
Yeah.
And I knew I was right, but it took 3 months for it to eventually surface that way. And then at that time they reinvent history. It wasn't at the time, but now it's
yeah.
And I've kept those quote boards.
Yeah. There's some receipts there.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's what do you get out of it other than just being a bit of a smart ass?
Yeah.
Everyone has their day as well. There'll be a time when
it goes the other way.
I don't think I would go about it in the way that some did in that moment, but there'll be times where I'll be in the gun as well. So
what is your biggest what's your proudest moment, I suppose, of a story that you've got onto first? Would that be the biggest one?
More recently, Mitch and I did the story about Joe Simpkin.
Yeah.
The first big story I broke was that, I think like in terms of like top tier of significance across the league was that Taron Thomas was under investigation by the AFL for further domestic violence complaints.
The second time?
The one that ended his career.
Yep.
That was, I think that was probably the biggest one that I had.
And obviously
at
not
that point.
source, like giving up sources and whatnot, but like, is that, how are you hearing about those things? Is it like, you can't answer the question, I suppose.
I remember at the time, it was over summer and there was a couple of sliding doors. I was down the beach, really hot day, and all my mates, big Eskia beers, and we're cracking the beers from like 3 o'clock in the afternoon onwards. And I was considering, and I thought, no, I won't. I'll just have a quiet day. And then got home, and about 5:30, Dad goes to me, "Oh, do you want to go? Let's go for a walk around quarantine." And like Dad goes on these 3-hour walks around quarantine. I thought, oh yeah, maybe. Got the shoes on, and I went, nah, I'm just gonna sit and watch the news, I reckon. And at 5:45, I got the call. It's on, like that's right. And I fizzed out for about 15, going, how am I going to do this? Because he was scheduled to go in the next day. I was thinking, do I go and shoot him going in and and then have the shots or whatever.
But then you got to wait.
Then you got to wait. And what if he doesn't come in? What if you miss it? What if someone else is there? I don't know. So I called up I was at 9 at the time and called up the news director. I feel bad telling war stories as if I'm some sort of news breaking veteran, but
no, it's relative.
And we zoomed into my living room down the beach, and I did it on a Zoom conference. And you can probably still tell I had a shirt because I was going to drive up early in the morning to work the next day. I didn't have a tie, and I still had like saltwater hair from being in the drink earlier in the day, and it blew up from there. That was probably the first big one, but hopefully something in the next couple of weeks.
Are you working on something, or you?
Well, you've always got a few irons in the fire, but it's a pretty competitive space out there, and there's some big dogs that are gunning for everything too.
Because Mitch often speaks about like DMs on Instagram and getting sent sort of tips here, there, and everywhere. And the funniest also is Forgotten Stars, one of my favourite Instagram pages.
Great page.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people also now send false information to reporters as well, and then it'll get shared and picked up or chased. Is that a way that people come in, like Twitter? Like you just get every Tom, DMs. Dick and Harry just DMing certain things?
Yeah, and people just also slide into your DMs and just abuse you.
Yeah, I've got that too, mate.
Yeah,
Don't
exactly.
worry. That's just everywhere.
Yeah. But DMs, Insta DMs, Twitter DMs. So many bots on Twitter that DM you. But Twitter DMs are good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had some good stuff through Twitter DMs. Because people on Twitter love it, and they've got a good news sense, and and that they see things, and hopefully they'll let you know.
Even the stuff around Petrarca at the airport the other day, like I know the news cameras were there, but there's like 20 footage of people with iPhones. It's just like far out.
I got some phone vision of that as well.
Like, this is just crazy.
Some dude that was like sitting at a table.
Yeah.
Panda. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
I got sent that one.
Amazing.
Yeah. But again, to the time sensitivity of modern news breaking, I got sent that video, and it was 2 minutes after the Adelaide journalist had tweeted that he'd arrived. So it's like, this is great and everything, but also, to be fair, all the cameras were there. Everyone knew about it. But in a bygone era, you would go on at 6 p.m. and you'd all kind of have it, and it would just be the story of the day, whereas you got to go straight away. And if you beat them by a minute, it's yours. At least in the industry, it's yours.
The other point around I love with media, I suppose sports media, and love's probably a different word, but I love the strategy around it, like with managers, clubs, journos working together, right? And like getting like a bum steer or something that a manager might go, this is happening, but it's actually for you to do a report on it to actually get a better deal for a player in a different situation.
Yeah.
And, for example, the Petrarca going to Adelaide or Jamara going to Gold Coast at airport, it's like, there's more sides to this than that appear. So, like, have you experienced situations like that or seen? Do you think player managers or media are smart enough to do that?
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think for Jamara, we're talking about Jamara going to Gold Coast, and I didn't break that story.
Yeah.
Mitch and Tom, I think, had it. Tom Morris and Mitch Clear had it last night at the same time. We had 7 Newsroom was there in Gold Coast, but
how good were his questions? The
I think it wasn't a journal. I think maybe the camo was trying to.
It was the camo.
I think. I'm not sure.
For those out there, it was quite because I
think the camo.
I actually haven't heard it, but I've been told what he said. He's like, "Oh, you had a good season this year." It's like, mate, he didn't play.
Well, it's hard. It's so hard for the camos because that guy's probably been out at court all day, and he's gone home and has no interest in footy, and they've gone, and it's Gold Coast as well. So the chief of staff probably doesn't even know. They've gone, "Oh, I'm making this up. I have no idea." But you need to get to the airport. This is a famous AFL player. They'll send a photo, and he's meeting with the Suns.
Yeah,
and he's probably gone there and gone, "Oh, geez, you
had a good year, mate."
Like trying to. Why would he be meeting with the Suns? Oh, great season this year.
Yeah. It's not funny.
I don't know.
It's like, whoa.
And and kudos to Jamara.
He took it very well, didn't he?
Yeah, I reckon he probably through maybe the other questions he asked, he probably figured out pretty quickly that the bloke wasn't trying to bait him. But I think though with that story, and I don't think it came from Jamara's camp that he was going up there, but it looks good for him because he's a player that's in demand. He's making the effort to go up there. AFL clubs see a future in him. If it doesn't come off with Gold Coast, at least it's a notch in his belt that there are clubs that are genuinely looking at him and thinking we can make this work for next year and beyond. And if he goes into the VFL next year and he has a great first 6 months, has a great year, then clubs go, oh, well, Gold Coast almost picked him up and, rah. At least the public does.
So there's definitely some...
You can spin anything in a way that works for you if you want to do it, I think. And it's footy at the end of the day, like we were saying. It's an entertainment game.
There was a really good one.
They haven't done any crimes. It's just fun, leaving footy clubs.
There was another one that happened and I was always like, there's no... Ken Hinkley, I reckon, for like 10 years had like the best thing. Like he'd be coaching and then he'd get to this point where they'd always say, Brisbane are really keen to get Ken Hinkley. And everyone was like, oh, what? And then like Port Adelaide would like sign him for an extra 5 years. And then like...
Do you reckon Ken was playing
No, not Ken, but I just mean like in general, that sort of stuff happens where you're out and you just make up a few things or get someone to report on something and it creates a demand, someone panics and then you just get locked in.
Yeah. Contract year murmurs.
Yeah.
But you're right. You got to... Yeah. You got to make sure if you're being fed something by one camp... There's a reason, isn't there? So,
3 sides to every story, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, let's go through some big stories this year.
Yeah.
You got 10.
Yes.
Well, you had 12.
I had 12.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to narrow it down, isn't it?
No, it is.
Different stories have different resonance with people for different reasons. So what I would say is the biggest story of the year, you might disagree. My view is, and I heard Caro say this actually on radio the other day, and I agree, that I think the biggest story of this year, and it's marginally above. I have Nasiah as number 2, and I have the Isaac Rankin saga as the biggest story of this year. I think it's
just in the weight of like public. Well, obviously I know why it's the biggest story, but just in terms of like homophobia and
Yep. So one, homophobia.
Yeah.
Big society ramification, huge ramifications on Adelaide's final series.
Yep.
They were top of the ladder. They then go out in straight sets. He's probably their best player. There was the drama of when he then fled the country, if you will, and he went to Italy for a week. Should he be doing that? Should he not? And don't we love, like, as a bit of a parochial code at times, the fact that someone would dare go overseas to Italy. Oh, how exorbitant is that they go to this luxury escape? Then there's the week later, and this is the... And it's unfortunate to tie this into this Rankin saga, but it brought out Mitch Brown.
Yeah.
And he said that it was largely off the back of that he wanted to tell his story. So you're having a footy story that then has a huge outcome on Australian society as a result. And then there was the drama of when he arrived back at the airport as well, and the AFL handling of it, because he didn't self-report, and all homophobic slurs that didn't self-report had gotten 5 weeks to that point. He's got 4, so he could still play in the grand final. And why is this guy getting treatment here and where everyone else got treated like that? And there were other health concerns around it. But there were so many elements to it. And it transcended largely because of Mitch Brown, but also because it touched on a deep-seated societal issue. But what Mitch Brown was able to do in terms of progressing society beyond a point, and it had been spoken about for almost a decade. Is there going to be the first? Who's going to be the first person to openly identify as a non-straight present or past player?
Yeah,
I think that's my number one. Where's yours?
I think that's definitely the biggest. And you put it very well. I think as you said, it transcended the game itself and became, a reflection of. Society is always a reflection of what's happening in the football industry as well. So if there's homophobic slurs happening on a field, that means that it's probably happening. Well, we know it's happening in other places around Australia. And I think by able to set a good example, Mitch doing what he's done, and hopefully paving the path for it to be a more inclusive game is a really big point.
And I reckon as well, in the last week or so, one of the more powerful moments of this was when Mitch came out again and said that he'd actually messaged Isaac to say, I forgive
all good.
you.
Yeah.
I understand that this is a product of an environment. And so a lot of things.
Big moment. That's one.
Yeah,
daylight after.
Well, yeah, but I think in a pure footy sense, the whole Naz thing, and for a guy that's probably the most chill bloke in the AFL, God, he's got a sense for theatre. Like the way that played out. By the way, I was at the Saints Best and Fairest a couple of nights ago.
Yeah.
Brand spanking new shiny gold Rolex.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
On Naz's wrist. The $2 million man.
I'm not surprised. Good boy. Because normally there's a wait period for those too. So I think maybe
he reckons he got
money
a good deal.
talks. Got a good deal.
So I love this because of the way that it ended, and it was a good story.
Staying at Saints.
Like this is a guy that was a big name at the start, and then there was the bit by bit he just became better, and the contract offers became bigger, and it was kept so behind closed doors that people were throwing darts left, right, and centre, and no one really knew what was happening. We knew that there were meetings. We knew that he was back in Adelaide. He got doorstopped at Yochi. Got doorstopped at the airport, went to Yochi with Jason and Francis and Jace Burgoyne. There was the Tex saga as to whether he'd go there because of the way that that situation was handled.
With Tex.
Then Tex is on the phone to Naz.
Yeah.
Then it's Naz is in group chats with the Crows players and they love him and it's going to be the perfect club for him. Then he pulls out the best 2-vote Brownlow performance ever. And it's the greatest comeback in the history of mankind. And Saints supporters are excited for a day and they're at the ESPY and they're jumping out of their skin. But then they realise this guy's probably going to win the Trevor Barker medal by 100 votes and then leave us. And then on a random Monday, bang, I'm staying. And I'm going to be paid $2 million.
But isn't it funny? Like, do you think he made that decision then? Because it did seem like he was just indecisive the whole time.
Yeah.
Like it felt like he really didn't even know himself where he was going to go.
Yeah, it sounds like the week before his family came over for a weekend, and which is what he said. He said that he told them then, and then he played that game because they played on a Friday night, and we had him on Seven's Friday Night Footy broadcast post. And the way that he said it, the way he was talking about it, we were texting in our group chat after, like, he's gone. He said something like, obviously I've got a big decision to make, so, but, I'll keep showing up for this team, for the rest of the year and kind of thinking, oh my God, this guy's leaving. And then they caught up, turns out the group caught up on the Saturday and he started telling guys, I'm going to stay. And then he had the big, ceremonious, walked into Ross's office and told him he's going to.
Yeah. And then they had the party. Was this the weekend after the win, that big win, or prior? It would have been after.
It was after. It was like 2 weeks after.
2 weeks after, because didn't they have that big house party and he was on Ross's shoulders or something? It's just like amazing.
So good. I love that though. And I think because it dragged on so deep into the year, it actually was a shock when he re-signed, and it was such a great moment for footy for a club that isn't on Broadway, I guess.
I don't know what it is, but traditionally, if you don't make a decision before the midway point of the year, 9 times out of 10, you're not staying.
Especially in that situation where you've got big money and going home.
Yeah.
And he turned his back on all of it and said, I'll stick around.
Tell you what, Sauce and Gubby and Ross, they know how to create a pretty cool story. Like, the TDK, the Naz, Sam Flanders deal that's been reported allegedly.
Liam
Ryan.
Lickalier,
fucking hell. They really can do some cool things. I feel, I've been a part of Sauce's list, and he won't mind me saying this, but the players at the top are getting some good salaries.
Yeah.
And the ones at the bottom, there'd be like 10 guys on like 2 mil, and then the rest of them are on about 40 grand. Like, that's just how it works. And then you sort of go, but Sauce, can I get like an extra 5? And he's like, nah.
Yeah.
And you're like, deal. Done. I'll take it.
I'll stay.
Yeah, done. I'll take it.
Were you one of the 40K battlers?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I was. No, I was on my last 4 contracts were all senior list minimum and then 2 rookie list minimum.
Tough.
Yeah. Oh, mate, in relative to the world, it's
still good.
But
great gig.
But when you're going out for lunch with blokes that are earning double what you're earning a year in a month, and you're buying them coffees,
Oh no!
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Mate, the more you have, the tighter you are. It's a big thing in the AFL world. Yeah. Trust me, they're bad. All right, two is Naz, and good on Naz. I think he's the. This is so not important, but the most aesthetically pleasing number 7 I've seen in a long time. And I'd actually say it's better than Nat Fyfe.
I like I like the number chat. Yeah.
Yeah. You like number chat. I'm a big number chat guy.
He is a number 7, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
God,
Wing, midfield, outside,
wiry,
long, wiry, 7. Yeah.
I wouldn't want you wouldn't want him to be much longer wearing number 7, would you?
Yeah, mate.
He toes the line.
I don't think he'd be much longer.
I don't want to see a key forward wearing number 7.
Well, Rory Lobb. I'm mates with Rory. But
I like Lobby.
Love Lobby.
Yeah.
But I don't know if the 7 is for him.
I'd like to see him in double digits
or even like 17. He was 37 at the Giants.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. But I could talk about this shit forever.
Yeah.
3?
So this is where it gets a bit murky for me.
Yeah,
I think there were a lot of like big stories through the year. I'm going to go.
Would you go the Bolter one?
I've got Bolter in there.
Because it was recency bias is a thing here too. Because it was a long time ago now.
So much of it was for me we talked about stories being of public interest, but not newsworthy in the footy sense. This was newsworthy the whole way through.
Yeah.
But a lot of it, the footy element of it, I thought was a big story in the way the AFL suspended him for only a certain amount of time. He came back and played before he was sentenced. That was a big story at the time.
Yeah, great. I don't think if that happened again, there's been no way that would be allowed.
No.
And the fact of the matter was, like, I don't know this for sure, but I felt at the time there was a real potential of actually going to jail.
Yeah.
I felt like that was actually going to be potentially a thing, wasn't it? Like at some point, or am I dramatising?
No, well, potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he had the curfew and so there was sanctions. I'll go Goodwin being sacked at 3.
Yeah.
I think coach sackings and coach replacements and stuff are it's pretty hard to surpass them as the biggest story of the year.
Mm-hmm.
That's massive. And there's only been one, if you don't count Ken at the start of the year. But
yep.
Goodwin being sacked, that came out of nowhere. Premiership coach. He's the only living premiership coach of the D's. 9 years, strong relationship with a lot of those players. And it came in a period of, I suppose, board instability where, not that to discredit anything that Brad Green and that board's done, but they're changing presidents at the end of this year. That was already done. They're in a period of CEO transition, but neither of the new guys had been put in their chairs yet. But still, that big call was made.
That's my biggest thing with footy clubs now, looking back in hindsight, or business. If you don't have a stable leadership team in terms of board, directors of coaching, or you look at all the best stories in the AFL, like Hawthorn, Geelong, Richmond, when they stuck with Dimmer Hardwick and everything. If you don't have that, you don't have really anything.
Yeah. Yep.
How can a coach a team if there's that much instability around the business? Like it's impossible.
Yeah. But they're pretty set now.
Yep.
And Stephen King's got the gig. Bucks didn't give him enough of an indication.
What do you think of that? Do you think that's a good call by them, being like, well, we're moving on?
I think so. Yeah. I think Stephen King actually blew them away in the interview as well. But yeah, I mean, if I'm running a footy club and if you can tell that, and even Bucks himself has said it, that Tassie is more appealing to him than Melbourne, then you probably want someone that's all in, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not to say I don't think Bucks would have done a great job had you've got the job, but you want someone that's...
No, you do. I had someone very wise once said to me, when someone says they want to leave or they're not 100% keen, you let them.
Yep.
Because you don't want to be convincing people to do anything.
No. And
especially that.
King said in his interview, which the CEO, Paul Guerra, said was like a turning point for him. He was halfway through pitching this game style and the way that he wants to do it and why he's the right guy, and he just stopped and he went, I am the coach that this club is screaming out for. And they were like, yes.
Cool.
Thank you, Stephen.
I like the fact as well with Melbourne at the moment of off the back of the news with Stephen King and Goodwin and all those things coming through, like reportedly the Petrarca move, who knows what happens with Oliver and everything else going through. I don't, obviously there's lengthy contracts and whatnot there, but I think when you have change, you need more change, and the changing of the guard looks like it will be a new Melbourne outfit next year.
Yep.
I said this on Footy and Friends this morning, and the boys don't take me seriously though. For many reasons, probably fair enough.
Yeah.
But I said the Judd McVee trade is more hurtful than the Petrarca trade.
Why? Because you showed him faith and he's ready to
rookie
explode.
pick, young player.
Yeah.
They gave him the number 4. He's going to be there for a long time. I feel like you build a team around those sort of guys.
Yeah.
and then for him to request a trade back home, obviously he's not as proven as Petrarca, but I feel like the Petrarca trade's been happening for 3 years. Like it's sort of been in and out and everywhere, and Melbourne are probably going to get something back in return for that. They're ready to go again. Whereas a Judd McPhee one, you're like, fuck, we just built this guy from a rookie list. Like,
you feel used.
He's come to become a good player. We should have kept him, and he's gone.
Yeah, it hurts as a fan. But you'll get something for him. And
no,
not really.
I'm not sure if you will.
Nah.
Like
it's tough. I agree with you.
I'm not sure if you will get anything.
It's never good when good young players
go. Anyway, 4?
4. It's hard to go past. Look, here's how I'll get this to 10.
Okay.
I'm gonna combine.
You're gonna bunk it.
3 into
love
1.
Love it.
And I'm gonna give you the captain Exodus.
Oh, I love this.
That's been massive.
Yeah.
And people forget.
I'm a fan of this too, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of these clubs try and lock players in by giving them captaincy when they're not really. I don't think like you look at the Merritt one, for example.
Yeah.
Dyson Heppel retires. There's literally no one else there. Not saying that Merritt's not a good leader because he obviously is an elite player.
Yeah.
But I feel like they've gone captain, 7-8 year contract, whatever it is. You're here, and it's hard to say no to that.
Yeah.
But also they've got to make sure they're locking in people, as you said, like the Stephen King thing and Nathan Buck. Do they want to be here for the long term?
Got to pick the right captain.
Know. You got to pick the right captain.
Pick the captain that's the captain, not the best player.
Even with Oscar Allen.
Well, yeah. And that's where this all started, really. That was, and us being in Melbourne, it was a little bit removed, but that was massive at the time. Because
the
of
apology.
They put him up in front of the
fucked.
media.
That was so fucked.
With the CEO, and he had to apologise, and he had the coffee, and it leaked, and the whole thing, and everyone knew he was gone after that. Wasn't ultimately to Brisbane, but it wasn't going to be the Hawks. But just the way that played out was extraordinary. And then the Merritt thing. I mean, if you're a boundary rider at the Footy, and I've done a lot of Essendon games this year, you see how frustrated he's been on the sidelines, and he's yelling and screaming, and he's throwing his arms around and that kind of thing. I think that's just by virtue of how much of a competitor he is.
He's a competitor.
But at the same time, you can tell that he hasn't been stoked with things for a while, but that's massive. That's an Essendon Football Club captain that wants to play for Hawthorn. Like, can you fathom that? Who was I talking to the other day?
Well, like the line in the sand, you think about that big game of like,
it was Campbell Brown.
Yeah.
I said to Brownie, can you imagine in your era the captain of Essendon trying to go to Hawthorn? Unbelievable.
No, it's big.
And then there's Simpkin as well.
Is Steele?
Jack Steele.
Is he the captain at Saints?
Yes.
Yeah. Is he still?
The line I got on this when I inquired yesterday, and you never know how these things develop.
Steele is a required player.
Well, effectively, was that absolutely nothing is happening with Jack and won't be. But if Sam Flanders goes to St Kilda, that probably makes them consider their options for sure.
I'm trying to think who would.
And Jack would probably be doing the same as well. If things evolve, like Jack Ginnivan after they won the flag wouldn't have thought that.
No,
even though maybe in the back of his mind he might have, but I don't think he would have considered leaving Collingwood off his own bat. And then Lockie Schultz comes in and he goes, well, gee, I was the sub for most of the year and rah, rah, rah.
Yeah.
Bang, that Hawthorn thing happens in the space of 3 days. So
it
a lot
potentially could be,
happen.
potentially 4 captains. Oscar Allen, Merritt.
Simpkin, I don't think will go anywhere, but he's exploring going somewhere, but I think because of his contract, the wage, the length of it, I don't think there'll be someone that'll come. I don't think.
No. But I love Simpkin. I think he's a very good player. But yeah, to be on what's reported like nearly $1 million.
Yeah.
Nearly $1 million, and someone like he's not potentially a walk-up start in every other team's midfield.
Yeah, it's a front-ended deal as well. So I think North Melbourne may feel, we've stumped a lot of the cash up early here, and what another club's going to get the back end of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't think he goes. It's a situation that'll have to be sorted out when he gets back.
It's funny, they're awkward. Like Bryce Gibbs did this once when he went from Carlton to Adelaide.
Yeah.
People make a bigger thing than it is, but when you walk back in, it's pretty fucking funny. Everyone's just like, oh, like I remember, I told this story a bit, but he left the WhatsApp group of the players. And then the trade deadline didn't come through, and Ed Kerno added him back in and said, "You're not going anywhere, mate." And then just like it was sort of after that, it was pretty funny, and you just sort of move on. And
Yeah.
it's fine.
I feel the players don't really care.
No one cares. Everyone, you just realise they're doing the best that they can and looking after yourself.
So I reckon Merritt and Oscar Allen's gone.
Yep.
I think Merritt probably gets there in the end. Maybe the goalpost could have moved on that with the new president, Andrew Welsh. Maybe he's going to stand a bit firmer.
It's a big call to come in and say that. The first thing you say is the new president, and then
He's going nowhere.
he's going nowhere. And then if he does leave, it's like,
What are we standing for?
yeah.
And then what do the Hawks do? Because then they want another midfielder. Who do they go to after that? Interesting. But the fact that 3 club captains have expressed an interest to leave their club, and that there could be 1 or 2 in the future as well is massive. And the way that it's unfolded with behind doors meetings that have become public, like with Mitchell, Sam Mitchell both times.
Yeah.
But how explosive that was, massive. And Merritt ducking and weaving and everyone got him on the Brownlow eventually. So that's my whatever we're at number 4. I think Jamara is big.
Yeah, it's big.
I was in the UK for 6 months last year, and I got back at the start of January, and I had like 3 weeks before I started the job at 7. And I walked in. I went from the airport basically to Hotel Sorrento straight away. All my mates are there. I'm going, I've got 3 weeks before work starts.
Bit of salt bar action.
Bit of salt bar action.
Okay.
Bit of rooftop action, mate. No, and they go, first thing I get in there, and 3 blokes come up to me within the first hour. Mate, got something for you. Jamara hasn't been to training. What do you mean? What do you mean Jamara hasn't been to training? He hasn't been to training. And as it turns out, it's been something that had been known by track watchers at the time, and Elliot Rader, the head of Bulldogs media, had negotiated it with the press that it was a sensitive situation and that they were going to do it in a way that was do the situation justice. But that was bubbling since the start of the year. And as we sit here today, time of record at 12:49 p.m. on the 1st of October, it's still
going.
Still, like, it'll probably be one of the lead, if not the lead item on the news tonight, that Jamara's in Gold Coast. Like, this is a story that has endured and had so many angles, from loyalty to the Dogs. Is he going to go to another club? Love machine shooting.
That was pretty hectic.
Is he coming to the footy? Is he not coming to the footy? He's been here for 3 weeks. Will he play? All of a sudden he's gone for 3 weeks. There's hope if he plays a VFL game, he could be in a VFL premiership. What's going to happen? There was Sydney links. Now there's Gold Coast links. There's just been so many different elements to it, and
still don't know.
From a public perspective, it's sensitive because they're personal issues, right?
Of course.
But it's played out in a way that has been engaging. I
think it's highlighted as well I never thought I'd be on the club side on these things, but it's highlighted the power players do have. And I think we always talk about, players with free agency and trade, and the power's with the players always. And clubs just, I felt for that situation because 2 ways. One, there's a personal issue, and like Jamara's a young kid that is obviously going through a lot off the field, and that needs to be completely looked after, and the clubs do a great job. I think the AFL Players Association do an incredible job of that as well, and you get the most support you can get. But then there's the other look of like, there's a list of other players and coaches that are rallying for their jobs to potentially win a premiership and paying big money to a player that's not coming to training. And how does that work? Like there's I don't know what the answer is, but as we said, there's truth to one truth doesn't make the other truth not a truth. Do you like that? Do you like that one?
I like that. You should have been in journalism.
I should have. I can't even fucking speak. Your grammar is putting me off because it's that good.
No.
But just on that part as well, like the implication that would have had behind closed doors around, can you imagine and this isn't about Jamara, this is about just in general when things happen. The manpower and brain power that goes into those meetings about certain issues with leadership groups and development groups and coaches and board meetings, like Bulldogs list is one of the best, if not the best, one of the best lists really for this year. Like if they didn't have to spend a lot of their energy on other things, who knows what could have happened. Like you can't say it didn't have an impact on their season. So
100%.
There's more to play.
Are we going next?
Go next.
Are we still going through?
Go.
I will give you. I'm going to give you Harley Reid re-signing.
Yeah. Did you think he was going to do that? I didn't. I thought he was going to come home.
Yeah, I thought he was going to come home.
Hawthorn or Essendon?
I thought the Hawks. Yeah. But power to him. Like you said, players should stay for 4 or 5 years at a club.
I do think that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
for sure.
Good on him.
Yep.
Big story in the West. Give love to our friends over there that feel that.
Yeah, we love the
get
West.
Enough,
we love you guys.
Enough of a pat on the back over
Yeah,
here.
I think it's big. It's big for them. I'm really interested to see what they do this off season as well, because they get the compensation for Oscar Allen. They'll have the number 1 pick or 2.
1.
Yeah, 1 pick.
Yep.
The compensation was a late first round, wasn't it? It wasn't. They were hoping to get 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But they got a late first round pick. I think it came through yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I saw that. Yeah. After that, I'm going to give you one. This is another umbrella one.
Yep.
And this is where I'm starting to get more. Like we haven't spoken about Charlie Curnow yet. I think we get to that next.
That's big.
That's big. I'm going to give you Bailey Smith. Full stop. So
Just the Baz effect.
Just the Baz effect, but I think that there have been probably 4 or 5 things through the year that maybe would sit in our 15 to 25 range of biggest stories of the year that centre around him. And just because they're all him, I'm going to elevate the Bailey Smith into our top 10.
Yeah.
So I'm talking all the birds and the birds, going to do bags.
By you mean
these ones?
Yeah, these ones. Yes.
Oh, that's 15, $3,000.
Yeah.
Because I've just done 2. I think he did 3 or 4. The doing bags after we win the flag on Insta.
Weird.
A lot of Insta stuff. Even the other day, the stuff about Caro on his Insta story.
I'm pretty loose, but the Caro one, I was like, you can't be doing that.
Yeah.
And also the Brokeback Mountain one was just like, read the room.
The fireside chat at his house with Andrew Dillon. How often does the league chief executive drive an hour and a half down the highway to have a fireside chat with a player about his behaviour? Not very often. As well as with the coach and the CEO. That's big. He revealed at the All-Australian that he spent a month in a psych ward. He played against the Dogs for the first time.
Played well,
didn't rock up to training throughout the week. Was battling with a niggle. Dodged all the cameras. Got pretty angry at a photographer recently. I think we all saw that. There was just so much. There's so much going on. And amid that, there's all the other whispers.
Yeah.
Baz is here. He's appearing at. What's Baz doing? Serving Barry's at a bloody pub in Torquay.
Dating a supermodel.
Tammy Hembrow.
Yeah, that was cool.
I actually didn't even have that in my notes.
That
Tammy
was
Hembrow,
great.
amazing gear.
Yeah, that was
amazing
cool.
gear. And behind the scenes, the amount of investigating that happened amongst football people on the Brownlow invite list.
Yeah.
Just refreshing every day. Has he put her down? What's going to happen? Can you imagine if? Anyway.
I think just on the Baz thing, there's obviously I've probably realised this the most. What makes us good? Anyone good? What is their biggest strength is also can be used in the biggest weakness, like where it's channeled. Like what makes him the player he is and the personality he is, that like drive and the showmanship, I suppose, of who he is. If it's not channeled in the right way, it can also have other effects. And you can't have the good without the bad. And I think for him, he's such an important part of our game. Like I love what he brings. Like as long as he toes the line with, well, he doesn't have to actually. Unfortunately, like Geelong said this. They know by getting him there was going to be some things that they were going to deal with, but they're probably the only club that could have dealt with that the way they have.
I think in general, as long as he's not punching down on groups of society that may be more vulnerable than others.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of all that carry on.
Yeah.
I'm a massive Mad Monday enthusiast.
What about Ginnivan? Like, how good's Ginnivan?
I love
Ginnivan.
Ginnivan.
Ginnivan, mate, he's...
Him rocking up at the airport, flipping the camera on all the other cameras, wearing the Port Adelaide socks. It's just great. It's great for the game.
Do you know what that comes back to, the Ginnivan one? It's cringe till it's cool.
Yep.
And like when he was in his early game and he was doing the selfies and stuff and everyone was getting into him.
Yeah.
I love someone who can back himself in and keep doing it. And he's not only turned himself into a very good footballer, but he's continued being who he is. He's himself. Like I have a lot of respect for him.
Yep. I'm a Ginnivan guy.
Good.
I'll give you after that. Kerno,
Yep.
how are you feeling?
Charlie doesn't answer any of my text messages anymore. This is a sort of a Footy and Friends thing that we do. I messaged him a while ago asking a favour, as you do when you have sort of ex-teammates. Like a guy was his son's birthday. I asked him for a birthday message and just got donuts. And I continually keep messaging him, but he just continually doesn't get back to me.
Oh, no.
So we're
That's
trying.
terrible.
Yeah, so I'm more upset about that than I am about the trade news.
So no about time bathhouse visits.
No,
for you, no vouchers or anything like that.
Not at this stage.
That's terrible.
But no,
Apply for Charlie.
I love Charlie. He's a character. He's a real quirky dude, and he would. There's some players that relish the attention. He actually isn't like that at all. He's actually a very. If he could just go down the coast and surf and not get bothered, like that would be his dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to bounce him as he was coming out of Carlton, out of the.
What did you get
Well,
from
it wasn't
him?
his exit. Nothing.
No.
Oh, he said, I've said everything I need to say. I'm here next year.
Yeah.
Whatever, as they all do.
Yeah, he's.
But I felt bad.
He's
He
great,
said he
man.
respected my hustle though,
Yeah, he's good. Look, he's.
which again, players are understanding
Yeah,
of the
they
media
are.
these days.
Yeah.
I don't want to be, but we have to.
Yeah.
It's part of it.
Do you think he?
Don't try and leave.
Do you think Carlton let him go? Because I think there's no question now. Obviously, he wants to explore options. Do you think that they can get a deal done?
I think they can get a deal done. My view, again, and this changes so quickly. At this stage in time, as we're recording, I think that Sydney is probably the one.
Okay.
If it was going to happen,
Who
I
would
feel.
go from Sydney though?
That's just what you're hearing on the grapevine.
Okay.
That there's a
So they might
willingness
do
from-
something else, then it could go somewhere.
yeah, maybe.
Because at the moment,
Cats, it's hard. He really wants to go to the Cats though.
yeah. Well, he's obviously
He's got the setup down there.
from down there. Yeah.
Yeah. But look, my view is it would be a Graham Wright just started at Carlton, and he's not a guy that mucks around. Like he's pretty excellence follows everywhere that he goes. Is he in his first off season going to let Tom De Koning, Jack Silvani, and Charlie Kerner walk out the door with
Not much in return.
not massive fish coming back? Probably not. And I know we are at a time in the game where contracts mean nothing and players leave and everything, but it feels like that's starting to maybe turn a little bit, as it does at the start of every trade period, and then they all go through. But I think he's a strong figure, and I think that Charlie is so important to that club that this isn't one of those times where it's going to be a we do this public dance, but behind doors we'll funnel you out. I think that this is going to be a real grapple, and they'll need something significant to get him across the line.
There's a really good on tradies this week actually. Reese, a good mate of mine, Reese. He's from South Ave up in Adelaide, and he's a tradies nuff. He loves this stuff. He did like a deep dive on over the past 10 years top 10 picks, and worked out whether like the averages of like Brownlow's best and fairest premierships, and it really shows that getting a top 10 pick is perceived as something that's amazing, but a proven player is a lot more valuable than a top 10 pick.
Okay.
And you look at that with Charlie Curnow. Even if you were to get pick 5 or something for Charlie Curnow, after listening to that debate and how he put it, I'm like, I still don't think it's worth it. Like, you
Not in
take a
this draft.
proven, you take a proven player of everything, because you look at St Kilda, they're obviously offering like pick 7 for Sam Flanders, and I'm like, yeah. 3 years ago I would have been like, no way, take the pick 7, but now I'm like, we know he's a very good player. Take it.
Yeah.
Like,
But even for Charlie, for instance, like probably the first 5 or 6 years of Charlie's career,
Injury.
he developed and then he got injured and then he shows signs. So if you're at Carlton and you could, let's say you draft a Charlie Curnow clone, and this is a bit of rudimentary discussion, but you're not going to get Charlie Curnow for another 5 or 6 years. Like you're setting yourself back in that position and they've got Harry Mackay, so they don't have nothing. But
what Carlton need to do now is, from my very uninformed opinion and just as a fan, is like looking at going, they've obviously built a team around Cripps, right? And potentially Cripps, Curnow, Silvani, Wiedering,
Walsh. Who might
Walsh
go.
is a bit younger though.
Yeah.
And it's like, who's the next phase that they're building
Jagger.
that list for? Yeah, and it's like Jagger, Walsh, captain.
Yep.
So it's like, do they then go, well, fuck it, maybe we do let Charlie go, because when Walsh and Jagger are in their absolute primes, maybe he's getting on. I don't know the answers to this, but I'm just thinking, is Jed Walter more suited to those age demographic of those guys? Who knows?
Yeah, and then but it's interesting because Voss is there, and you're cutting the list and backing Voss for another.
Yeah, there's so many questions to it. This is what I love about the list management space.
Beyond Charlie, did we talk TDK?
No, we
TDK
didn't.
has been massive.
Yeah.
But that's sort of wrapped itself up. The Bolter saga we've touched on.
Yep.
The last one I've got there, which I think is underrated, but was unbelievably huge at the time, that everyone I feel like has forgotten, is that we literally had the start of the season cancelled because of a cyclone. That was huge.
Yeah. But it wasn't even huge. I don't want to discredit the cyclone, but it didn't end up being super bad, did it?
Nah, it wasn't carry on.
It was obviously we send a lot of love up to our northern states because they get absolutely smashed and have some really bad flooding. But I don't think for them that was as big as what it worked out to be.
Alfred didn't pack the punch. Nah. Well, again, you may be a bit more aware there. Maybe we shouldn't joke about the seriousness of the cyclone.
Of course.
It was heavy rain.
Yeah.
But,
it was pretty interesting, wasn't it?
It was amazing. And they left it late.
Well, big ramifications too when you look at like the game getting pushed back, Essendon Gold Coast, even with the Brownlow, like with Rao.
Yeah.
He ended up, blowing away anyway. But it was quite interesting knowing like, fuck, he's got a game still to come here.
Yeah.
Like,
and we didn't get a true ladder until, because Gold Coast had that game in hand and you're making predictions. You couldn't really tell. The fact that opening round has been a beacon of this administration in trying to push the game into northern states, and for it to be sabotaged like that is a once in a century disaster for them. There were 2 games in opening round, and then that threw all the fixturing out, and Geelong Brisbane ended up finding a home I think in round 3, but that Gold Coast game goes out, and again would be maybe putting it at number 1 had it have been
relevant at the time. Yeah.
But at the time it was massive. Like guys like I think it was Lockie Neal coming out and going, if you move the game to Geelong, I'm not going down there. I'm staying with my family in Brisbane through this cyclone and making sure they're okay. And there was such a push and pull, and they have the AFL season opener in the season launch in Sydney, I think it was. And no one knows if the season's actually going to start. Like, it was crazy. So give Alfred a notch. So what have I missed? What do you,
mate,
what do you like?
No, you haven't missed anything. It's
we
good to look.
there.
Do you remember those shows back in the day? It was like they used to do the top 10 of 1999 or something, and it would be the biggest stories. Generational gap.
I was born in 2002.
Yeah, generational gap. But this was like when I was probably 15.
Yeah.
Someone will remember this. It was like they'd go back like 3 years or 4, 5, 6 years, whatever, and go to the top 10 stories, and people would like reflect on what happened in that year.
Yeah.
It was really interesting.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's good on Brownlow night when they do the round by rounds and you remember.
like that. But it was over years. It was pretty cool. So I'm happy we did that.
Yeah.
Hey, you've been very generous with your time. Have you got to go?
Nah, I can stick around. Yeah, I'm all right.
Cool.
It's day off for me today, actually. So
Good. I want to do, there's a lot to do, but I want to chat about quickly the 6 months 7 months, 8 months, 9 months. What'd you do? You went over there and went to what?
So I was at the University of St Andrews over there.
What were you doing there?
I was studying international relations and film. So I'm
How does that go? How does that work? Like, is it a ATAR thing? Is it a application, or how do you
get? Yeah, it was an exchange program application off the back of
Melbourne Uni.
Yeah, off the back of my degree at Melbourne Uni. So I always really wanted to study overseas at some point. So I love my footy journalism, but my academics going through school was a pretty significant part of my life.
What'd you get?
I got a 98.5.
Loser.
COVID year as well, mate. It was pretty tough conditions.
Well, technically, you had more time to study, mate. You were locked inside.
Mate, don't tell me it was easy. Okay.
Yeah.
You were probably swanning it up on bloody Cavill Avenue and Gold Coast in the hub.
No, mate. I was. That was my first year out of footy. I was locked inside. Yeah, I was first year at it. But to be honest, it was probably a good thing. That's why I started the pod, just zooming.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I remember I stayed, Mum and I stayed, and Joe and Dad went up because they had to for footy and Dad was president of Collingwood at the time and doing shows and stuff like that. And they're in the hub and Dad's playing the straight bat. We've got to do this. We've got to go up there for the family and mum and I rolling our eyes a little bit. Going,
Fuck,
please, you're in a resort hub. Joe's playing soccer with Gary Ablett Jr. because there were 5 guys that went up late with the rest of the media.
I remember
and stuff.
that.
So it was Gary Ablett Jr. One of them was Biggie Nuon, who was at Richmond and North. And he's become one of our best mates off the back of that.
Oh, awesome. He's a good dude, Biggie, yeah.
But yeah, they did that hub and then they got out of the hub and, you know, they're doing all this stuff. And I remember waking up and opening the paper on phone or print and they'd been pinged off at they'd gone for a pub night with a bunch of the production crew. And then I think it was like the Flamingos or something like that. It was like a nightclub that they'd gone for a little nightcap at. And someone's gone up and taken a photo and it's gone straight to their old son. And we're sitting there, mum and I going, get a load of these blokes telling us that they're having this tough time and, you know, we want to be home.
God, that was terrible. That period.
But yeah, so I studied politics and media at Melbourne Uni. Mm-hmm. And for the back half of that I did, end of last footy season, towards the end I went overseas. Backpacked for a bit around Europe for a couple months with a few mates and then, settled in St Andrews for 6 months. So loved it, like time of my life. Played the old course 15 times, attended 20 classes. Wow. So almost had the perfect 1-to-1 ratio going on there.
When you were playing at St Andrews, did you do it would have been obviously non-peak season or maybe it was, I'm not sure, but did you have to like sleep out overnight or just rock up in the morning and just get on? Is that that's
so
how
they've just changed the system where you do online ballots now. But so the way it works, because it's a public course, anyone can get on, so they ballot the old course. Mm-hmm. If you are a local, you have like double the chance of getting pulled out of the ballots. Like a lot of the ballot times are just for locals only. So I would have balloted 19 times probably to play 15 times. When you play there as a guest, it costs you in peak season, and I was there for peak season, shoulder season, and off season. Mm-hmm. But in peak season, it'll cost you 320 quid to play one round.
So $500.
Yeah, which for
it's a lot.
Opportunity of a lifetime, people do it, but it's a ridiculous amount of cash, especially for a guy that had zero income.
Yeah.
My deal as a local was that I paid 370 quid, and I got 12 months access to all 7 courses there, including the old.
What do you mean all 7?
There's 7 courses there. At St Andrews.
Is there really?
There's the old, the new, hopefully I get all these. The old, the new, the Jubilee, the Castle, the Balgove, the Eden, and the Strathtyrum.
Right.
That's 7. So there's 7.
Are they, because I've been there, but are they connected or are they separated?
Yeah, so I think the old, the new, the Jubilee are sort of all
there.
Kind of side by side in that precinct.
Yeah.
The Eden and the Strathtyrum are over the back. The Balgove's a little 9-hole par 3 course, and then the Castle's like a 5-minute drive away.
Yeah,
actually, there's now an 8th one that they added, the Duke, but that's sort of irrelevant.
Yeah, cool.
My time. But a great time over there. Loved it.
I was mentioning this, but I just thought I'd drop it as well. I did play at Kings Barnes. That was a cool course.
I got a day at Kings Barnes as well.
That was we played there in peak terribly, but we played there in peak season. It was like I don't even want to know how much it was, but again, once you're there, you just got to just cop it and
you got to do it
and get it done.
Yeah, but interesting time. Like when I was there, which I didn't realise, it's where Prince William and Princess Kate went and met.
Really?
Yeah. So actually there was one of this was in the paper, but the guy I went to school with at Melbourne Grammar, who was a couple of years below me, is dating Prince Edward's daughter, who they're both at St Andrews as well. So there's current royalty. Australian guy.
Yeah.
And he went over there and so there's current.
And he's still there.
Still there. Yep.
Dating.
Yep. So there's a bit going on there.
Fucking but did you meet anyone while you were over there, like of royal?
Well, yeah, met her.
Oh yeah, right. So she's a princess, or prince?
She's a lady.
A lady of Scotland or England? England.
So, Prince Edward is Queen Elizabeth's youngest of 4. He's the youngest of 4, and it's his daughter. Anyway, so that was cool.
Scotland. The royal family are over Scotland, aren't they?
Yeah. So. Yeah, 25% American, a lot of New Yorkers there, right. But a lot of golf. Great time. I've got a lot of mates that are coming out for the Ashes this year and that sort of thing. So, I loved it. Did Oktoberfest, hiked through Albania, dropped into the Olympics, stinged some tickets from the family for that.
Yeah, good.
Great setup.
Fucking done it all.
No, it was good fun.
Mate, to finish up.
Yeah.
Give us some of your biggest watch this spaces for trades this year.
Biggest watch this space?
Yeah, WTS.
The biggest one's going to be Merit.
Yeah.
Well, I think whatever happens with Merit can unlock a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Around.
What do you see on it has to be players, right? Who I can't. The only person like Cam McKenzie, but they didn't really play him, so there's not much. A lot like he's a great player, but there's not a lot of, I suppose, currency to get back. Like it's going to take more than that.
Yeah, it just depends. Like picks, you can trade threes in advance, can't you?
Yeah, true.
I don't. They seem pretty.
Actually, and
keen to
Hawks
keep
have
Cam
that
McKenzie.
pick of. Don't Hawks have Carlton's first
Yeah.
round pick? Or something? Yeah.
Who knows? It's interesting. And then because they want that midfielder, if they don't get Merritt, who do they go for after that? Obviously, Charlie. I know that they say that Butters isn't going to go, but things change.
Would you go Butters or Merritt?
I would.
I'd go
no
Butters.
disrespect. I'd have Butters.
Yeah.
Yep.
Butters, the only not the only reason, but he's tough and classy on the like he's he's everything.
But if you're the Hawks, you know that Merritt wants to come.
Yeah,
and you
of course.
probably think you can win a flag with him next year. Whereas you wait a year, you go for Butters, you miss on him, and then you're 2 years behind.
It's exciting times.
I will give you one just on because you asked me if I met anyone that was cool at St Andrews.
Oh,
which
yeah.
I don't know if you can slot this back in there.
No.
So I was part of the St Andrews Curry Eating Society, which was like a secret society.
Mate.
Which I've just blown the cover.
Yeah. Okay.
And we'd go to the Indian restaurant, and the Indian restaurant there would cook us up like the spiciest vindaloo that they could possibly make. Anyway, when the Dunhill was on, all the big golfers were in town. So the first day that it was on, I went for a swim in the North Sea, and I was walking across the 18th hole as you do because it's just a pedestrian crossing. And Brooks Koepka was 10 metres away from me, just hitting his shot up on the 18th green. Like, it was amazing. We got a tip off that John Rahm was going to be eating in the Curry house the same night that we were going to be there.
Yeah.
So all the Curry boys were big golf guys as well.
Yep.
So we go in there, and he's in the back corner. And someone told me that apparently his preferred meal was korma sauce with rice. Like, he kept it real basic.
Yeah,
I didn't get eyes on it.
So no meat.
No meat. That's what I've been told.
Yeah.
I don't want to, blow the top off this in a big way.
Yep.
So I'll say that I don't have primary sources on this case. Alleged korma sauce enthusiast, John Rahm.
Okay.
So we're sitting there. John Rahm gets up, him and his mate. They walk down the stairs, and we're all sitting there. There's like 20 of us. We look at him. He looks at us. He walks out the door, and everyone was too scared to say anything. Like, I don't want to bother him. He's having his dinner. Anyway, one of the guys at the end of the table, this American guy, runs out the door, and no one saw him do it. We're like, oh, we should have got Rahm. We should have got Rahm. Anyway, he sprints back and he goes, he's outside. He's going to do a photo with us. Like, everyone go. So throws the chairs, sprints outside. We give the phone to his mate, and we all take this big photo. And John goes, do you want a photo with old mate here? And we goes, nah, all good. You guys go.
Oh,
no worries. So 2 or 3 days later, I was really lucky that there was a guy who invited me into the R&A for the last day of the Dunhill. So I was watching the Dunhill, them all come up the 18th green for the last round of the Dunhill. And the last group comes up, and the guy they're tied, and the bloke hits the birdie to win the Dunhill. And it's the bloke that we got to take the photo and didn't take the photo with, Tyrrell Hatton from LIV.
You didn't know it was him?
I didn't know it was him. A lot of the boys did, but went, nah, don't worry about it, Tyrrell. And he's ended up smashing John Rahm through the week, wins the Dunhill that we're all sitting there watching, and we've said no to a photo with him the year that he wins the whole comp on the old course. So that was a stinker from us. Yeah.
He's funny too, man. Well, LIV Golf is actually partnering with us on this episode, but I go to LIV every year. Love it. Like, it's so good. The access you get with golfers and walking around with it is crazy.
Is this an ad already?
Well, I played in the Pro-Am with Tyrrell last year.
Did you?
Yeah.
How many F-bombs you dropped?
Mate. He's I played the first year with Dustin Johnson.
Yeah.
He was pretty cool, but like, mate, you know what it's like? These guys do this shit every day. Like, they don't want to fucking talk to anyone. Like, they were just all chewing tobacco and spitting, like Dustin Johnson and his crew. The next year with Tyrrell, he couldn't give a shit. But it's just cool being around them and watching them at a close distance. Like, it's just amazing what they can do.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
But, sorry, a similar story is when I was playing with Tyrrell, there was this guy, we're playing in the Pro-Am. It's me, Bernie, Vince, someone else playing with Tyrrell and some other guy. And, we're like, fuck, we're big dogs playing in the Pro-Am here. This other guy comes up who's walking around with some guys around him. He goes, oh, do you mind if I join in? I was like,
here we go.
I was like, not really, mate. We're playing with
Jog on, will ya?
We're playing with Till Hutton here. Like, just piss off.
Yeah.
Because I just dropped my ball. Lovely guy.
Accent?
Yeah, like he was Middle Eastern.
Okay.
Should have clicked in my mind. He was the owner of LIV. The owner.
And what? Chill's
Like-
on. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm talking like like they don't even know how much money this guy has.
No.
Yeah, I'll get you I don't have the name on me, but I've got a photo of me with him like reading the putt and he's helping me read it and I didn't find out till like it's a good thing that you didn't because you're just having fun and he was walking with us and on the two sides had like 4 security guards so like walking.
Surely
like,
something tweaked for you. At
yeah,
that stage.
no, mate, no, it didn't.
you
It was
just thought
fucking
maybe
idiot.
they're
Yeah,
just
just
here 'cause
thought,
it's a big event.
why is this guy fucking cramping my style, man? You can piss off, honestly.
Stop trying
But-
to be boys at Tyrrell. Hey, he's been good enough to sponsor the pod.
Well,
so-
yeah, he's a good man.
Yeah.
Mate, it was great to catch up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, really appreciate it. Hey, I love what you're doing. I want to do more stuff with you.
Mate, let's
do it.
do it.
Yeah.
You tell me.
Thanks, mate. You're a star. I'll get you to we'll put all the socials and the links in, guys, as well. That's about it, man.
Cool.
Good
Sounds
stuff.
good.
Thanks, bro.